What's up, guys? Mr. Octagon here from Octagon Gaming. Now we're back with the Octagon podcast. I think the last one I uploaded was on New Year's, so sorry I have not gotten to upload a lot of these lately. Today we have, I think, 6 sports topics to discuss, none of which pertain with the Super Bowl because I am sick and tired of Tom Brady. Hopefully the Eagles win 3-0 so Tom Brady can suck and Matt Patricia can ball out. Go Lions! But the first thing we have today is some surprising news, and that is Jason Kidd has been fired as head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Bucks have a very talented core of players, of course, led by the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jabari Parker's coming back soon from his injury, and they also have other good players like Malcolm Brogdon, Chris Middleton, Thon Maker, who's underperformed this season, among others. And I kind of get the move. A lot of people disagree with this move. I think Jason Kidd is a good coach, and I think the Bucks should trust him. But the Bucks are 23-22 and currently the 8th seed. We'd be tied with them, but frickin' Spencer Dinwiddie, game-winning shot, woohoo. Used to play for the Pistons, by the way. Spencer Dinwiddie started his career off in Detroit, where he was a scrub. Just want to throw that out there. But anyway, I see what the Bucks are doing. This team should be better than 23-22. They have a superstar player. They have a pretty good supporting cast. I didn't even mention Eric Bledsoe on those players. I forgot that they traded for Eric Bledsoe for a second. But anyway, they have a very talented team, and they should be winning more games. Who should they hire? 2 words. David Fizdale. I don't know why the Grizzlies fired him earlier in the season. I don't know how he does not have a job. Hint, hint, Cleveland. We're going to get to Cleveland in a minute. Unfortunately for the Minnesota Vikings, they will not be the first team in NFL history to have a home Super Bowl game. Well, they might down the line, but not this year, as they got demolished by the Eagles. I said I was not going to talk about the Super Bowl. This is not about the Super Bowl. This is about the off-season. I'm going to do a lot of stuff on the off-season, especially the NFL draft. Big NFL and NBA draft person. I love the draft. And I want to do more in free agency this year. Le'Veon to Detroit. Let's start that little hashtag. But anyway, the Vikings have a big question with their 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Who's their guy next year? Their 3 quarterbacks are all, I think, unrestricted free agents in Case Keenum, Teddy Bridgewater, and Sam Bradford. Now, Sam Bradford, he's not the guy. He's not good enough. He's not mobile enough. He does not have as good of a good enough arm. Just short passes, too injury prone. Not very good. He may find a starting job, but definitely not as like a franchise quarterback. Former number 1 overall pick. Isn't awful, but at the same time is not good. And now we have Case Keenum and Teddy Bridgewater, where the real competition is. Case Keenum was this nobody. I mean, he was good in college football for Houston, with like the most passing yards and touchdowns of all time, but that's because he was probably playing against defenses that were worse than Big 12 defenses. We all know those teams like to play defense. But anyway, Case Keenum played really well this year, sort of a Cinderella story for the Vikings. No one really expected him to do anything. He was supposed to just be the scrub on the bench, and he played really, really well. But the Vikings don't have Pat Shurmur anymore, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. And I feel like Teddy Bridgewater is more upside, but Case Keenum did play really well this year. But at the same time, journeyman like Case Keenum, he was on the Texans for a while. I think he was on the Rams. He was one starting last year before they benched him for Jared Goff. Nick Foles, funny enough, was also on that Rams team. I think he's probably been on a couple more teams before he's really thrived this year in Minnesota. I think a lot of his success has to do with Pat Shurmur. And with that, I think they should bring back Teddy. It sounds like they're going to franchise tag Case Keenum, which first when I was thinking about it, I thought was the right move. But now thinking about it, he very well might be a one-year wonder. And Teddy certainly has the upside, but Teddy Bridgewater at the same time is more risky. So maybe bringing both of them back on franchise tags isn't the worst idea, because those are both one-year contracts. But at the same time, that's a lot of money that is being offered to them. But Teddy, I feel like he has more upside. He's younger. He showed promise before he got hurt, but an ACL injury is a big deal. Can derail your career. RG3, Derrick Rose, are both prime examples. And he was out for a good while. He was out for about 14 or 15 months, but a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me, but I think they should honestly franchise tag both of them. But if they had to choose, which I honestly don't think they should franchise tag both of them since that's just a lot of money, I think they should choose Teddy Bridgewater. I think he is the upside. Alrighty, now we're going to be talking about the NBA All-Star Weekend. Usually the skills challenge and the three-point contest and the dunk contest are usually entertaining. Not the dunk contest this past year, right? But, something that's been a noticeable trend the past few years is Damian Lillard getting snubbed, and it happened again this year. So Damian Lillard, phenomenal player for the Blazers. They're currently the 6th seed in the West, which is not bad because we all know the West is superior to the East, to say the least. I don't think Jason Kidd's Bucks will be making the playoffs right now, wink, wink. But looking at Damian Lillard's stats, 25.2 points, 6.6 assists, 4.8 rebounds. That's a lot for a point guard. About a steal a game. Even though he's not very good defensively, the All-Star game has nothing to do with defense, which is why people like him and DeMarcus Cousins are so perfect for this game, and why him and Boogie deserve it, which I think Boogie's been an All-Star consistently. Unlike Damian Lillard, I don't get it. Damian Lillard has been one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. Obviously there are some potential trade rumors. I don't really think trade rumors, but CJ McCollum very well could get traded. I don't see it happening. But still, I don't know why he gets snubbed. Phenomenal scorer, which is really what the All-Star game is about a lot. As you can see, those very high-scoring games. I'll probably make a video about the All-Star draft. They need to televise that. That'll be so perfect for the NBA to televise that. They'll get a lot of viewers to see who gets picked last. I think in the NFL, or NHL, not NFL. In the NHL, if you get picked last, you win like a car or something. So picking last won't always be so dreadful. Or getting picked last, LeBron and Curry. Who's LeBron going to take first? Is he going to take a Warrior? Is he going to take Kyrie? Okay, he's not going to take Kyrie, but what do you guys think about Damian Lillard getting snubbed? I think he does not deserve to get snubbed. He should be an All-Star. I have talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers before, and I don't think they've been in a bigger mess than they are right now. The Cavs have been awful since their very close loss on Christmas to the Golden State Warriors, and they have been hot garbage since then. They need to make a trade to change things up. DeAndre Jordan even wouldn't be bad. He is on a one-year deal, but still. What do I want to say? Oh yeah, they could always get DeMarcus Cousins. Very unlikely, but certainly possible. Anthony Davis, very unlikely. I mean, the only Anthony Davis rumors have been to Boston. But the Cavs, they can fix this mess. They allowed 148 points against the Thunder, and the game wasn't even in overtime. 4 players scored 20 points, which was their best 4 players. Russ, Paul George, Melo, Steven Adams, even though... Is Melo really one of their best players? Melo's nothing but a cancer who does not like to pass the ball. Melo's very overrated. But we're not talking about the Thunder, we're talking about the Cavs. The Cavs can fix this whole mess that they're in right now with one simple move. I've said it, and I'm going to continue to say it until it happens. Fire Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue is an awful coach. He won him a ring, but that's because LeBron James is on his team. They should hire LeBron James as the coach, the GM, the owner, everyone on the team. It's a one-man team, and it's LeBron James' team. LeBron James should literally be the one who chooses this coach, and I have the perfect fit, not only to get a better coach, but to potentially keep LeBron. I mentioned his name earlier. His name is David Fizdale. Don't know why the Grizzlies fired him. LeBron and David Fizdale have relations. David Fizdale, I think, was an assistant coach back with the Heat when LeBron James was on the Heat. And I think LeBron James really liked David Fizdale. So potentially, they could bring him back. Also, Lakers. Luke Walton's a solid coach. Do you want LeBron? Fire Luke Walton. Make LeVar happy. Pick up David Fizdale. David Fizdale needs a job because he's a phenomenal coach. The Bucks could use him. The Lakers could use him even though they didn't fire their coach. The Cavs need him to potentially be more likely to bring LeBron back, and just to be better now anyway, because Tyronn Lue's not going to cut it. We're going to be talking about all the coaching changes in the NFL. I'm not going to talk about the Lions or Matt Patricia, because I already made a video on that. I want to be somewhat quick, because this is a lot to cover. Josh McDaniels is a lock, pretty much, to join the Colts. I think this is good for the Colts. He's a very smart offensive mind, offensive coordinator in New England. Obviously, they have a very good offense. They know how to use a lot of players. They've turned scrubs into very good players. Dion Lewis, Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, even Julian Edelman. John Gruden, the big one, he's going back to Oakland. He used to coach for Oakland a while back. Then he got traded to the Bucs, and the Bucs beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl. I think he's a very smart guy. The Gruden Vegas era for the Raiders, I think, could be very exciting for Raiders fans who were staying Raiders fans when they moved to Vegas. But I think the question is his heart in it? Does he really want to be the Raiders coach? Does he really want to make this team succeed? Mike Vrabel is the Titans' new coach. They parted ways with Mike Mularkey this week. Vrabel is the former defensive coordinator from the Texans. Don't really know much about him. But hopefully for them, they can develop Marcus Mariota after a lackluster year, I would say. One of the two moves today, the Cardinals got Steve Wilks, the Panthers defensive coordinator. Once again, don't know much about him, but the Panthers have a good defense. I think they should have gone after like a Josh McDaniels or Pat Shurmur, though, since they're going to get a new quarterback. I think they're both better with quarterbacks than Steve Wilks. I think the Colts and Cardinals swapping coaches, Josh McDaniels for Steve Wilks, would not be too bad for either team since the Colts have a quarterback, assuming Andrew Luck can stay healthy. But hopefully for them, they can get their quarterback. Matt Nagy is the new coach for the Bears. The Chiefs offense coordinator, I don't know much about him either. But that Chiefs offense, they're a very talented offense. They used Kareem Hunt this year. He played phenomenally. Alex Smith played really well. Tyreek Hill, they figured out how to use Tyreek Hill, and he's one of the most explosive wide receivers or players in general in the NFL. And the Bears have a very similar player to that, in my opinion, in Tariq Cohen. Only 5'6", so he's not going to be a great receiver, but he can certainly catch passes out of the backfield, can certainly be a situational runner, kick and punt returner. I think Matt Nagy and the Bears can figure out how to use him. And Pat Shurmur is going to the New York Giants. I think this is great for the Giants. He knew how to use Case Keenum really well this year, and as we talked about earlier, Case Keenum really flourished. And I think the Giants' rookie quarterback, assuming they get one, I'm not saying he's going to start, but I would assume their rookie quarterback is going to start. Josh Rosen or Sam Darnold will be my guess. I think Pat Shurmur can develop them into a very good player. I know he has coaching experience, but also the Cleveland Browns, so what does that mean? Last thing I'm going to talk about is this mess of an organization called the Charlotte Hornets. I have Hornets fans who watch. I'm sorry if you're triggered. But the Hornets are a complete mess right now. They have so many bad contracts. If you're looking to trade their star player away just to unload those contracts, I don't think that's the main reason. I think they should tank. I think they should tank and go after a high player in this year's draft. There's not as much depth as top talent. There's more top talent this year, but less depth, which is more proof why teams like the Hornets should go out and tank. Because right now it looks like they're just going to get like a Kevin Knox, who's a good player, but they can get a better player like a Mohamed Bamba, Colin Sexton, DeAndre Ayton, someone like that up in the top. So I think trading Kemba Walker and a lot of bad contracts away definitely works. I think, obviously, teams are going to want Kemba, like the Knicks, my Pistons. I'd like to see Kemba. The Denver Nuggets are perfect. They don't have an actual point guard because Jamal Murray isn't really a point guard, which is where I see Kemba going, the Denver Nuggets. I think Kemba should be easy to trade because a lot of teams are going to want him, not a bad contract. But if the Hornets want to put in a bad contract like Dwight Howard or Nicholas Batum, so that's going to be hard to do, but hopefully for them, they can trade away Dwight Howard and Nick Batum.